The autopsy report has been released for Sonya Massey, the black woman from Illinois who was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy inside her home after she called 911 for help. It concludes the 36-year-old mother of two died from a gunshot wound to the head. Earlier this week, the coroner said her death was a homicide. Body camera video shows deputies responding to Massey's house after she called about a possible intruder. Massey is heard in the footage asking officers, quote, "Please don't hurt me." Shots were fired after she picked up what appears to be a pot of boiling water from her stove. The family says Massey was unarmed. Deputy Sean Grayson was fired and has pleaded not guilty to charges, including first-degree murder. He was arrested and remains in custody. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa has been following this story. So, Maggie, the family and their lawyer, who is prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, did speak about these autopsy results just a short time ago. What did they say?
They said they're absolutely guttings in Clay, as we expected, but they also said it shows something really clear, and that not just that Sonya Massey, according to the coroner, was shot in the head, but that she was shot in her left eye, specifically her lower left eyelid. And the autopsy results show the bullet actually traveled downward and exited the base of her neck. And what they say that means is that, and we appear to see this in the body camera video of this shooting, Sonya Massey was shot at a downward trajectory. You see her kind of drop to the ground and seem to cower when the deputy initially draws his weapon, and she stayed on the ground in the moments before she was shot. And they say, you can see Crump pointing it out there, they say that clearly shows that they say this was an abuse of power and that this was excessive, that the deputy was standing, she was crouching, and Sinclair, they say it's clear that she was not a threat in that moment.
Yeah, the details are just difficult to hold in this story. Maggie, NBC News, of course, has been digging through Sheriff's Department personnel files on that former deputy, Sean Grayson. Right. We learned new details about his time at a previous sheriff's office he worked for. Tell us more about that. And also, have we heard from Sean Grayson?
We have not heard from Sean Grayson via his attorney. He's in custody. His attorney's not commenting. Our digital team has done a lot of digging on this, and basically what we found is that he has worked at 6 law enforcement agencies since 2020, largely in central Illinois, where this happened. The one that he was at prior to the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department is Logan County, and records show that he had 2 reports or claims against him of misconduct, of abuse of power, and basically inappropriate behavior during an arrest. We have to be clear, those were later found to be unfounded complaints against him, and he left that department in good standing. We've also, though, uncovered that prior to working in law enforcement, he served in the Army for 2 years and was discharged, according to one document, for misconduct. During that time in the Army, he pleaded guilty twice to driving under the influence of alcohol. So the family says, looking at this past, looking at how many jobs he had in the last 4 years, looking at those allegations, they really believe that he never should have been hired in the first place. Here is what Crump had to say about this earlier today.
Were there red flags missed? And should he have been hired in the first place by the Sheriff's Department? Those questions only get louder.
Now, the Sangamon County Sheriff has put out several statements condemning Grayson's actions during the shooting. He's been fired from his job, but we've asked specifically and explicitly about these allegations that he should have never been hired, that he had a checkered past, essentially, according to the family. The sheriff has yet to respond to those questions and to those allegations specifically, but we'll keep trying. Once again, Sean Grayson has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder, and his lawyer, Clay, is not commenting at this time.